With so many Americans losing their homes, Michael Bullers and his girlfriend Pearl are certainly grateful for theirs.
And being back here is kind of sanctuary for us.
Even though their home is a small makeshift shed tucked under the 605 freeway east of Los Angeles. What brought you here?
Being homeless, being unemployed, having nowhere to go.
Michael got laid off from a warehouse job more than a decade ago and soon became one of the nation's 123,000 chronically homeless. He lived in tents and tunnels before finally moving under the freeway.
We're not sleeping on the street, we're not sleeping on the sidewalk. Everywhere I've ever lived, I just want to live the best that I can live.
For Michael and Pearl, this is the best, and they're not alone, with area bridges serving as a refuge for the chronically homeless.
This happens to be somewhat of a problem on some of our freeways throughout the state.
And California is cracking down. Patrick Chandler with Caltrans, the state's transportation department, says the homeless encampments under these bridges are a safety hazard and need to go. Road crews cleaned up and cleared out this encampment at the end of May. Video shot by Caltrans shows the large vault-like room under the 605 freeway where upwards of 30 people lived at one time or another in dark and dangerous conditions. Trash everywhere, food hanging from the ceiling to keep it away from rats. In a city famous for its freeways, Caltrans officials say there could be even more homeless encampments just like this one.
It's under the freeway, it's out of sight, it's out of mind, and I think that it's pretty amazing to imagine that people would live in that situation.
Michael says he knew the people who were forced to leave that encampment. They were his neighbors, but thankfully for him, officials didn't notice his shed, so he got to stay.
We're pretty lucky.
But just a few weeks later, when we came back to the bridge, Michael and Pearl's shed was gone.
This was our home. I dug this out of the trash that Caltrans had thrown away.
Officials found their shed and forced them to leave. Michael says for now, they're sleeping under another bridge. A shelter just isn't an option.
I think a shelter is more like a place you just sleep for one night or whatever, and you can't really call it a home.
Many times the chronically homeless don't see shelters as a solution for them.
Mike Arnold with the LA Homeless Services Authority says chronically homeless often struggle with addictions or mental issues and feel more comfortable on the street, free of shelter rules and boundaries.
Folks who have chronic issues do not receive the level of service necessary for them in a shelter environment.
So when they lose what little they have, they often end up on their own, like Michael and Pearl, sifting through roadside debris, looking for treasures in the trash.
Money, I got money.
You ready to go home? Let's go.
Only now they don't know where home is. Brandon Scott, CBS News, Baldwin Park, California.
Let's go.